Hi, and welcome today. This is Life After 50, What You Need to Know. I'm Katherine Watson, and I'm going to be your host today. I'm really excited to be here. We've got a great program for you. Hopefully, last week you also saw the program I had with Sandra Weidenfeld. She talked to us about driving under the influence of aging. That was a great program, and the recording is on the Facebook page, so you can watch it if you missed it. Today, though, I'm here with somebody from the Alzheimer's Association. I know that so many of those followers on this page are dealing with issues of Alzheimer's and dementia. We maybe have an aging parent or an aging spouse. I know I went through this with my own family, and it's really tough, and you don't know where to go, and you don't know what to do. So I brought in an expert today. Her name is Dr. Julie Kutac. And Julie received her BS in molecular biology with a minor in theology from Texas Lutheran University. Her master's is in religious studies from Rice University, and her PhD is in medical humanities from the University of Texas Medical Branch. Dr. Kutac's research at Rice focused on the ethics of memory and illness narratives that captured the subjective experience of Alzheimer's disease, making her definitely a perfect fit for the job she's in today. At the Institute of Medical Humanities at the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston, Dr. Kutac continued to explore her interest in aging and elder care as a National Institute of Aging predoctoral fellow with the Seeley Center on Aging. Her dissertation focused on suffering, the elderly, and ways that the medical humanities can improve the practitioner-patient relationship. I'd like to welcome Dr. Julie Kutac here today. I'm thrilled to have you here. This is, I know you've got so much information, and I know we'll probably have you back again and again on this program to help share some of that information. So Dr. Kutac, the first thing I want to ask you is, what brought you into this world of aging and elder care and Alzheimer's? Why this interest?
Oh, thank you. I love that question. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy to be representing the Alzheimer's Association. And like so many other people, I have a personal connection to Alzheimer's and to dementia. My grandmother had Alzheimer's for about 14 years, and we saw her from the very earliest stages when we were just dealing with the warning signs all the way through to the end of her life. And while we were caring for her, and my mother was an only child, and you know, women are at the epicenter of the Alzheimer's epidemic, and as an only child, she was dealing with taking care of her kind of by herself and trying to navigate the world of Alzheimer's. And we made a lot of mistakes. We did the best we could. We learned along the way. We got some bumps and bruises, and there were a lot of funny stories and a lot of heart-wrenching stories. And while we were taking care of her, I was learning about biology, I was learning about philosophy, and I was trying to put those experiences together and thinking about how we cared for her. My other grandmother had vascular dementia, and so I saw dementia from a different side, you know, and loving on her through her illness. And they're my guardian angels now that watch over me. But mostly what I've been really impressed with over the years is the wisdom of elders, what people still have to offer in their later years, which is sometimes ignored by the population. But in fact, our elders are the ones who carry our cultural history and who can teach the next generation and who have so many stories to share if only we take the time to listen. And even those with dementia have so much to offer. They have so much still left to give and left to show us about ways of living with courage and with dignity. So I fell in love with this population and wanted to learn more about it in the hopes that I could help other families and also selfishly to continue to be benefited from the knowledge that they have to give us.
Ah, great. So you also mentioned that women are at the epicenter of this, Julie. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What does that mean?
Yes, so women are actually at a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, and women are also often the ones for whom the caregiver burdens fall. So for those reasons, we say that women are at the epicenter. They need support and encouragement, and we need to recognize what it is that they offer and what it is that they need, particularly when they're either dealing with dementia or they're dealing with dementia as a caregiver.
And how are some of the ways that our local Alzheimer's Association offices help women with these challenges?
Oh, so many ways. The Alzheimer's Association helps people in so many different ways. Our chapter is the Houston and Southeast Texas chapter, but we don't just serve Houston. We serve Southeast Texas. So our chapter alone serves 37 counties, all the way down to down south to Galveston, even as far as Edna. We serve west to out to Columbus and northwest out in Brazos Valley. We go north to Nacogdoches and east to the Louisiana border. But there are other chapters in Texas too. So if you're watching this today and you're not in our territory, there are other chapters that can help you. But we have a 1-800 helpline. That number is 800-272-3900.
And we're going to put that in the comments section below after the show. So make sure to watch for that. Go ahead and tell it again, though.
Yes, it's 800-272-3900. That number is answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a call center in Chicago. If you call late at night or at 2 o'clock in the morning and you just need some support, there are people on the phone to answer. And there are translators as well. So if English isn't a person's first language, then there are translators that can help those people too. So this number is for people with dementia who have questions about understanding the disease process, or I've been diagnosed, where do I go next? That number is for caregivers, it's for healthcare professionals, and it's for healthy, interested volunteers, people who want to get involved, people who want to help in research, people who want to get involved by supporting the mission in any way. So I don't think I've left anybody out. I think that means everybody.
Think so. I think it pretty much covers everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And there isn't a person out there who hasn't, I don't think, been touched in some way by this disease.
No.
We all know somebody who has either suffered themselves or has a family member or a good friend or a spouse or somebody that has had this disease. So it has touched the lives of so many and continues to do so.
Yes.
I applaud everything y'all are doing. Dr. Kutac, what are the latest statistics on Alzheimer's disease? What's going on? Are there any changes?
Well, when you said that everyone's been touched by it, the numbers show that. There are currently an estimated between 5.2 and 5.4 million Americans who are living with Alzheimer's disease.
That's a lot.
And so that is a huge number. It's the sixth leading cause of death. And there are estimated about 3 caregivers for every person with Alzheimer's or with dementia.
It takes a village.
Yes,
One
it takes
person
more than a village. No. We sometimes researchers even call care partners the hidden patient because they deal with stress and with the demands of caregiving. So there are an estimated 15 million unpaid family caregivers.
Wow.
And that takes a huge toll on the economy. It's a drag on the economy. Alzheimer's is the most expensive disease. Last year, the estimates were that it cost $259 billion in care.
Wow.
So the
So
numbers
how
are
long
staggering.
how long does a typical Alzheimer's patient usually live with this disease from the time they're diagnosed?
You know, it varies. It varies. And we are doing a better job. Scientists and clinicians are doing a better job of diagnosing Alzheimer's earlier, although we need to keep that focus of doing physician outreach to make sure that doctors understand what diagnosis looks like and how to get people empowered with a diagnosis early. But because of that, the disease trajectory can last anywhere from a couple of years, 3 years, to upwards of 20 years. So it can be a very, very long, slow process. But Alzheimer's is a spectrum. People don't lose capacities all at once. So the disease process can be long, but that means there's a lot of life that's still left to live with Alzheimer's disease. And the middle stages can last quite a long time. So that can lead to quite a lot of stress for caregivers.
It can. It absolutely can. And, you mentioned earlier about doctors and educating the physicians, and that's so important. I know my mother-in-law most likely had vascular dementia. We never actually got a definitive diagnosis, but we went through a lot of physicians that said there was absolutely nothing wrong with her for a long time. And that was really frustrating. And that was, made it harder on the caregivers and harder on the families to deal with, because what I have discovered is this disease doesn't always take a straight, narrow path. It kind of winds and goes around in circles. And, one day mom is doing just great. She sounds just like mom, just like old mom. And then the next day she is just totally in another world. And so this flopping back and forth is very confusing for families. And you start to second guess yourself. Well, maybe I don't know. So educating the physicians is huge, I think, so that they can test correctly and give the correct diagnosis.
Yeah, that's so true. And so at the association, we do outreach to healthcare professionals. I saw a comment that physician outreach is important, nurses outreach is important too. And we do that in a number of ways. We have continuing medical education courses for physicians. We have one on difficult conversations and how to break news to families and how to support families after they've received a diagnosis. But we also do outreach to nurses and social workers, and I'm very excited. Our professional conference has been announced. It's going to be May 18th at the United Way. The topic this year, the theme of the conference this year is called Ending the Silence. And there are going to be sessions on critical conversations, as well as understanding the root causes of dementia-related behaviors. So that when clinicians or healthcare providers see those changes, they can work with families to understand that all behavior has meaning. You know, that people don't act in different ways for no reason. You know, they're trying to communicate and what those communication cues are. So we do quite a lot of healthcare outreach, but I know you said, you know, working with your mother-in-law that some days were good, some days were not so good, and how to learn how to be flexible and creative with your responses to a loved one. We do a lot of caregiver outreach too. So our professional conference will be in May. Our caregiver conference will be in June. And the topic this year is called The Courage to Care. So we want caregivers to come in and to leave feeling empowered, like they have the tools and the skills, and like a booster shot, that they leave feeling like they can go back in and care for their loved ones in compassionate and knowledgeable ways.
That's so important. That's so important because, you know, none of us took Caregiver 101 in school, right?
No, the same way parents don't get a manual. Caregivers don't get a manual either.
No, we don't. And most of us are just kind of thrown in because of a crisis that happened. And all of a sudden we're sitting there going, well, what do we do about this? And we don't understand the language, and we don't understand what's going on. And we don't, you know, there's just so much that we don't know. So,
Exactly.
The caregiver training is huge. I mean, I really applaud the Alzheimer's Association for all that you do on that end. And I know y'all have a lot of caregiver support groups where you train people to be the leader of support groups all over, you know, the city and the state, and just about everywhere you can find a support group. How would somebody find one of these support groups?
Great question. So there are several online resources that I want to tell you about. But to find the support groups, you want to go to the website called Community Resource Finder. So that's www.communityresourcefinder.org. And that's where you can find all of the programs and services and support groups that the Alzheimer's Association supports. So
it's a separate website.
You go into this website. It's a website that's connected to the Alzheimer's Association, but you go in and you put in your zip code and say what you're looking for. So there's a drop down menu, and you'll say that you want to look for support groups or education programs, and then you put in your zip code, and the one that's closest to you will pop up, and then it'll pop up geographically for you. Support groups are free. They're supported by our wonderful donors and our donations. So you can go to one support group, you can go to 2 support groups, you could go to all 50 support groups if you have the time and the availability for it.
I don't think there's many caregivers that have the time for that.
No, I don't think so either. But some folks don't feel like they have the time to go to a support group at all. And that's where our virtual support groups come in. So you go to alz.org. That's our main Alzheimer's website. And then you do /care. So alz.org/care. That will take you to our online caregiving resource center. That's your manual, girl. That's where you go and get that Alzheimer's caregiving manual. There's so much information on our online caregiving center. And one of the sections of the alz.org/care is Alz Connected. And those are message boards. So that's your virtual support group where you can go in and ask questions, share your experience. Other people from around the country can share their experience too. And I see Sabrina, who's our wonderful volunteer manager, has just posted the alz.org/care website. We have all's connected. We have a caregiver stress check where you can go and say, I don't know if what I'm experiencing is stress, but I'm going to check it out and see. Oh, and it'll give you suggestions on what you can do to help alleviate stress. We also have care consultations. We have a social worker on staff, Kathy Spetter. Kathy is our social worker, and if you have questions that are specific to your caregiving needs, or you say, I just don't know how to get my loved one to do X, or I'm not sure if I need what I need. I don't even know what questions to ask. You can call our number and we can get you plugged in to a care consultation, and Kathy can talk you through that and help you come up with a care plan.
Great, great. And thanks, Sabrina, for putting that information
thank you.
On the screen for us. We really appreciate that. If you could also put that 1-800 number, if you have that, Sabrina, for the hotline, that would be great too. Thanks. So Dr. Kutac, we don't have a whole lot of time yet, but we do have a few minutes left. What else would you like people to really know about? I know we had some agenda of questions and we haven't gotten to a lot of them, so we'll have to have you back for sure.
Well, that's okay. I'll come back.
What would you most like people to know, and what does the Alzheimer's Association need from us? How can we help?
Oh, there are lots of different ways that you can get involved and you can help. I really want to impress on people that even if you are not specifically caring for someone with dementia, people with dementia need you. They need you to step up and to get involved. And there are different ways that you can do that. One is by getting involved in clinical research. That can be a scary thing to people. They say, oh, I don't know about that. But it's one of the biggest barriers to moving research forward is the lack of healthy volunteers. So the Alzheimer's Association has put together has worked with Emerging Med to create a database called Trial Match. And Trial Match is so easy. It's free to go in and register. And all you're doing when you register is saying, I'm willing to get more information about clinical trials. I'm willing to learn more and then perhaps to get involved. Clinical trials include online, something as easy as an online questionnaire, to stress studies. One of the biggest new programs, one of the biggest new trials that's coming out in 2018 is called the U.S. Pointer Study. And that's an intervention trial that's looking at ways to delay the onset of Alzheimer's through healthy lifestyle interventions. So this is awesome. They're looking for healthy people, and they want to see if we can delay the onset of Alzheimer's by doing things that research has shown may help reduce the risk. So that's healthy eating, exercising, social support, medication management. So you can get more information by going to alz.org/trialmatch and signing up. It's free and it's easy to register, and then you are in the driver's seat as to whether you want to get involved further. So that's one way to get involved. The next way is to join our signature events. So the signature event that probably a lot of people know about is our walk, and we have over 11 walks across Southeast Texas, and those will happen in the fall. Before the fall, we have our second signature event, which takes place on June 21st, which is the longest day of the year, and that's called our event is called The Longest Day. And the longest day is all about love. You do what you love for those you love to help end Alzheimer's. So I'm actually not going to be in Texas on the longest day. I'm going to be in Colorado. So I want to get all my friends together and we're going to go for a hike.
Oh, that sounds
Other
like fun.
people are going to have a game night. Other folks are doing Lego Palooza. It's whatever you love. If you like quilting or barbecuing or dancing, you can do whatever you want. And you do that. The idea is that someone on your team does that activity for all the days of daylight hours. So it's easy to sign up and register a team and get involved to help end Alzheimer's.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a great day. It's a great day. And then in the fall, we'll have our walks. It's free to register for the walk. If you raise $100, you get the best t-shirt you'll ever earn. And then the incentive prizes go up from there. It's a 5K walk. We know that walking is one of the best things you can do for your body, and it's really good for your brain health. So we do a brain healthy activity to help raise awareness and solidarity. And of course, the most important thing, we raise funds to help fund research, our caregiver support programs, and help us move towards a world where we can say that we've changed the trajectory of Alzheimer's. And so we're really looking forward to that first survivor.
Awesome. Awesome. That is so good. Thanks. I wish we had 100 hours to talk to you because you've a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information, and there's so much that we don't know. But like I said, we'll have you back. But we're unfortunately going to have to close it down for today. I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to visit with us today, to share your knowledge and your information. The links are in the comments section, everybody, on the Facebook page, Find Houston Senior Care page that we're on right now. It will stay there. It's not ever going to be taken down. So you can always go and look for it on the wall, or you can go directly to videos, and I'll probably will set up a special video album for just these shows so you can easily find it. But, get the information you need, get help, reach out. I can't say that enough. This association has so much to offer and so much to give, and get involved. Get involved. As Dr. Kutac said, everybody can get involved. You don't have to have Alzheimer's. You don't have to have a family member with Alzheimer's. There's things that you can do, and it will benefit all of us.
That's right.
Everybody in this world.
Thanks
Catherine. Again.
Thank you for all that you do to support the community and to support elders and in the Houston area. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to put this number up again. This is the 800 number that's answered 24/7 by somebody who's trained to understand what you're going through and be able to help walk you through whatever is going on. So put that number somewhere where you'll know how to access it if you need. All right. Thanks, Julie. Have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you.